Did you train Ric Flair in, I think, 1972, or have a hand in training him at that point?
Well, he was one of the guys out at the ranch, out at the farm there. He was with Flair, Bruggers, Patera, Greg Gagne, Jim Brunzell, and Iron Sheik. 6 of them, yeah. 6 guys. Billy Robinson was training him. And I was kind of like Robinson's gopher, so I was, I'd go out there with Billy, work out, and I didn't have anything to do in Minneapolis. So that was, escape for me. But yeah, he was there. He was into it. He was a big fan of Dusty and Dick Murdoch. Pick him up at the airport, drop him off. Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Yeah, he weighed the same as him as well. He weighed the same as well. Did he have brown hair at the time as well? Still.
Yeah, mousy hair. He was about 310, 320. He was a big boy.
I'm trying to think. So how long would the people be training there before they got the first proper match in and was maybe on the road with the AWA or wherever they were farmed off to?
Yeah, I don't know. A few months anyway. It'd be a long time before they'd even smarten them up. They'd, like I said, they just take them out there and do calisthenics till they bleed, and they'd have, some old time hooker come out and grab them and stretch them, and then they go through, the Beals across the ring, and Beal bump, just a series of. So probably a couple months of that before they even got into any working, any actual in the ring work that you'd actually be doing. But they came out, they were all safe and all know how to take care of themselves. All good bump takers and stuff.
With the training initial class that you were training, you must have had maybe like an internal ranking of who you thought was going to make it, who you thought maybe wasn't going to make it so much. Where did Flair go into all that? And, like Patera and Sheik and the rest of them.
Well, Flair definitely had the attitude. He was gung-ho. Greg, Jimmy Brunzell, he was pretty good. Bobby Bruggers was an athlete. He was an ex-pro ball player and a friend of Owen McDaniels. And he seemed to, maybe not as much color. Patera was a character. You could see the least successful you think would be the Sheik because of his, which was, far from the truth, exactly the opposite. But you think because his connecting and his amateur background and, just his attitude, the third world attitude. You'd think that he wouldn't, but eventually he got with it and became one of the biggest heels of all time. But just, timing was perfect with the Ayatollah and Iran and everything else.
Yeah, I mean, he still had hair at the time. He wasn't I don't think he was quite as big.
Oh, what
no
an
mustache.
He was what an athlete he was. He was about 190 pounds, 95. Minnesota Vikings, their football team, they used to train at work out a lot at his health club, and he beat everybody at the university too. He beat everybody in racquetball or handball. You name it. He was just a fantastic athlete, quick, and that was before Murdoch and Rhodes got him on the beers.
He took to Western culture a little too well.
Oh yeah, he really, started drinking beer, never stopped.
Did he? When did sort of his natural personality start to come out, Sheiky's?
Probably when he got down around Florida, Georgia, down in the South there. Obviously when the whole Iran thing started coming down, when it got so easy, he didn't have, and he just didn't have to do anything. He was hate, he just show up in his pointed toes in his pants and, You know, people just hated him regardless of what he did. So that heat just carried him over the top.
Do you remember what the? Because there wasn't an upfront fee, was there, for that training camp, unlike probably a lot of others? But didn't Vern get like some percentage of their contracts for so many years? Do you remember what that was?
No, I don't know what it was, but I think everybody was, everybody was probably different. You know, because obviously Greg wasn't kicking back, I doubt.
No.
But everybody else, everybody else went out to pretty good territories. You know, went out to went around. So a lot of them went to Kansas City and Oklahoma and stuff there with McGurk and Watts and Bob Geigel down there. So they were on the road, boy. They went right on the driving. So most of the guys from there went straight to Kansas City or the other one I saw, Oklahoma territory. I think Greg stayed home. I don't know. He may have gone out for a couple of months, but I don't think he was pounding the road anywhere for $300-400 a week.
No, probably not. It might have done him some good to stay. You know, like the old David Sammartino would have done him better to not be in the WWF straight away. Maybe make a name for himself somewhere else, or change his name and do it that way. I don't know. Maybe that would have benefited Greg as well. Do you think, or trading off the name in AWA was probably the best way for him to go?
Yeah, it was the easiest way for him to go. He was never interested in steroids or putting a great amount of weight on. He was a good worker. He just was real lean, so he never So yeah, it was his fire engine anyway. It was his toy anyway to play with. So he was in the office and no reason he got out, went out for a little bit, probably went out for a little experience, then came right back to the doghouse.